want to first point out that he asked for consistency in Superman. There are things that Goku has never done at all, right? I believe this moment with Cell is from Dragon Ball Z chapter 419, or Dragon Ball chapter 419. A more clear version of this scan is him saying that he can destroy the solar system, but he never actually performs this feat. It's never accomplished. It's based on that statement alone that people say that Cell can do this. And because there's a linear supposed power progression in the manga, everybody who's stronger than Team Gohan can apparently destroy the solar system and more. But my issue with power scaling is without something being demonstrated, I don't believe it. However, let's apply the exact same logic that we use for Goku to Superman. If it's stated, it's true.
So Dragon Ball fans never really abide by this sentiment. I don't know where he's getting this from. It's never just about the statement, it's about the consistency. Multiple sources from Cell himself, the manga statements, the data books, all of it confirm that Cell, after killing Gohan, can wipe out the entirety of the solar.
Superman 2018 number 5 is not a random comic book. It's a comic book from the main line from the main Superman story, where Superman states pretty clearly that if he wanted to, he could make the entire Phantom Zone disappear.
Now, yes, it's true that Superman does make this statement of declaration inside of this issue. You're missing heavy context here. Just in the issue before, he makes it actively known that Rogol-Zar is his direct equal in power, speed, stamina, and intent. He also makes it openly known that he cannot beat him in a physical confrontation in a hand-to-hand combat fight, and that hitting him is completely ineffective. The contradiction comes in when Rogol-Zar is literally stated to be imprisoned and entrapped in the Phantom Zone and he cannot get out. This would actively make no sense, because if he is Superman's equal, he should be able to destroy the Phantom Zone if he really put his mind to it, right? And keep in mind, the Superman that makes the statement about being able to destroy the Phantom Zone didn't get amped, he didn't get stronger, he's actually weaker than he normally would be, due to the fact that the Phantom Zone doesn't have a sun, and more on that, the atmosphere around him is literally poisonous. Now, granted, he has the best end of the stick because of his strength, but again, it only does so much. Now, just to jog your mind, I have to ask, which sounds more probable? Someone with a clear mind making a complete assessment of both his and his opponent's power and then being wrong or lying about it, or someone with nothing but murderous rage behind their words saying something they either don't mean or is not true? Take your pick.
How is this noteworthy to Superman? Here's your multiverse map. Those little numbered dots are all infinite universes.
So the main DC universe, again, is stated to be infinite on occasion, but I just think these are knowledge claims or just statements made from someone's understanding and belief system more often than not. I mean, there are quite literally statements talking about how the universe expands at finite ranges. So making these arguments just don't really make any kind of sense contextually. You have no true evidence supporting that even in one universe, let alone all of them, are infinite.
The red coloring that connects those universes is called the bleed. It's a larger infinite space.
The bleed and the fifth dimension are the same thing, so I really have no problem with that. You're just literally getting the bleed to 5D. There's no issue with that. However, you're trying to claim it's infinite. That's not true. Now, we know this can't be the case because bleed can be sectioned off and pieces can be taken away from it. And when this happens, these pieces are not infinite themselves, which actively contradicts the assessment of true infinity, because you cannot divide infinity by a finite number above 0 and get anything besides infinity.
Those encompass the House of Heroes, which is a larger infinite space than that.
Once again, you showed no evidence of it being infinite in size. However, I do agree with it being pan-dimensional in nature. Something pan-dimensional refers to having the ability to access all higher and lower dimensions in existence, and the highest dimension in DC is the 6th. So wow, complex multiversal. So story breaking.
They're surrounded by the larger infinite space of the Speed Force wall.
Now, I do agree the Speed Force and the Speed Force wall is infinite. That's not a problem. However, again, you did claim it's a higher dimension, which I'm going to need evidence for. Something being outside of something else does not inherently mean it's dimensionally above.
And outside of that is the larger space of the God Sphere, which is where the underworld is located, which is also known as the Phantom Zone. Just taking that one statement as true gets Superman significantly past universal. But the thing is, Superman's actually done shit on panel like that. Eventually, Superman 470, he uses his heat vision, and this entire dimension gets destroyed. Personally, I think this feat is fuck ass, but hey, if we're just accepting things, significantly more recently, Death Metal Trinity Crisis, where a weakened Superman encounters Barbados, one-shots him. Prior to that, in Death Metal number 4, you find out that Barbados' entire purpose was destroying universes. Many people know of Superman's famous feat from Justice League 25. In a state where he was significantly amped, he cracks the 6th dimension, one-shots the World Force, destroys a White Lantern, destroys Batman's final bat armor, and kills amped versions of Wonder Woman and the Flash. The reason why that's important is because Action Comics 1050, again, mainline Superman, says that his mind and body are more powerful than they have ever been. Most of the things in Dragon Ball talk about what might happen when you scale them. When you scale Superman, it's based on things that actually happen, which is what would make Superman more powerful than Goku.
You showed no evidence of it truly being a dimensional framework. Again, dimension in DC is also used to refer to universes, so again, arguing this without any kind of contextual evidence is just mute. Him punching Barbados is cool, but until you can prove that Barbados quite literally destroys universes all at once, or, you know, multiple at once, he's still universal. And here we go, Action Comics 1050, when Superman makes his return from Warworld. Here's my problem. Everyone is now taking this scan and trying to now assert that Superman maintained the full extent of the white sun amp he gets while in Warworld. There is no evidence proving this to be true, and you using this to back that makes no kind of sense. And when it comes to measurements or comparisons of Superman's power, rarely are sun dips ever mentioned because they're contextual and situational. And sure, he may get a new baseline / benchmark now, you would now need to provide why this benchmark is tied back to other sun dips. To put it in dummy terms, why is Clark talking about his overall power including sun dips and not just referring to his new baseline in comparison to other baselines? But let me be charitable, let me be nice. Let's just say that he does maintain the full extent of the world sun, right? He maintains this full power. It still only puts him unquantifiably above a 6-dimensional entity. That's it. So still he'd be complex multi, which is still gonna get shit on by base Goku from Dragon Ball Super. Now you're gonna see me mention the macrocosm feat for Goku, so let's just talk about it and get it out the way. Now, obviously, in the Battle of Gods arc for the Dragon Ball Super anime and manga, Goku and Beerus, they perform multiple clashes. And in these clashes, they proceed to threaten the entirety of the macrocosm, almost destroying it completely. Now, when it comes down to it, they grow in power and get so strong to where they can now achieve this by themselves. And Otherworld on multiple occasions stated to be something of metaphysical nature, something being above dimensions in general, something being above time and space conceptually, even further statements calling it non-physical in totality. And Goku has the energy to destroy it completely. This also includes the Kaioshin realm, which is qualitatively above the macrocosm in totality. So when it comes down to it, Goku could be anywhere from 6D to outer versal based on these scans. Keep in mind, this is base Goku. He can still ascend even higher using Super Saiyan transformations, his God form, his blue form, Ultra Instinct, and more.